Good morning. We continue on with our last few chapters of Richard Sibbes' book, The Bruised Reed. Today, one of the shorter chapters, chapter 24, All Should Side with Christ. If Christ will have the victory, then it is the best way for nations and states to kiss the Son, Psalm 2:12, and to embrace Christ and his religion, to side with Christ and to own his cause in the world. His side will prove the stronger side at last. Happy are we if Christ honor us so much as to use our help to fight his battle against the mighty. Judges 5:23. True religion in a state is as the main pillar of a house and staff of a tent that upholds all. So for families, let Christ be the chief governor of the family, and let everyone be as a house of Christ, to dwell familiarly in and to rule. Where Christ is, all happiness must follow. If Christ goeth, all will go. Where Christ's government in his ordinances and in his spirit is, there all subordinate government will disappear. Religion inspireth life and grace into other things. All other virtues, without it they are but as a fair picture without a head. Where Christ's laws are written in the heart, there are other good laws that are best obeyed. None despise man's law, but those that despise Christ first. Of all persons, a man guided by Christ is the best, and of all creatures in the world, a man guided by will and affection, next the devil, is the worst. The happiness of weaker things stands in being ruled by stronger. It is best for a blind man to be guided by him that hath sight. It is best for the sheep and such like shiftless creatures to be guided by man, and it is happiest for man to be guided by Christ, because his government is so victorious that it frees us from the fear and danger of our greatest enemies, and tends to bring us to the greatest happiness that our nature is capable of. This should make us to joy when Christ reigneth in us. When Solomon was crowned, the people shouted, so the earth rang. 1 Kings 1:39 and 40. Much more should we rejoice in Christ our King. And likewise for those whose souls are dear to us, our endeavor should be that Christ may reign in them also, that they may be baptized by Christ with this fire, Matthew 3:11, that these sparks may be kindled in them. Men labor to cherish the spirit and metal, as they term it, of those that they train up, because they think they will have use of it in the manifold affairs and troubles of this life. Oh, but let us cherish the sparks of grace in them. For a natural spirit in great troubles will fail, but these sparks will make them conquerors over the greatest evils. If Christ's judgment shall be victorious, then popery, being an opposite frame set up by the wit of man to maintain stately idleness, must fall, and it is fallen already in the hearts of those upon whom Christ hath shined. It is a lie, and founded upon a lie, upon the infallible judgment of a man subject to sin and error. When that which is taken for a principle of truth becomes a principle of error, the more relying upon it, the more danger. This short chapter has much to say to us of value. The last section there about the popery, which is a Puritan terminology for Catholicism, and especially for the Pope and his authority, which they strongly opposed as being too extreme and taking too much of the authority that really belongs to Christ. And so that charge in the Puritans comes very often, and it shows up even here in Sibbes. There is a broader application for us, of course, which is that when we give authority in our hearts to any person, whether it be a pope or a pastor or even a politician, when we make those people to have that supreme authority in our hearts, we really do push Christ to the edges. Where Christ is the king, then there is strength and peace. So I think the hymn that came to mind as I was reading this chapter is the old hymn, Rejoice, the Lord is King. Your Lord and King adore, rejoice, give thanks and sing, and triumph evermore. Lift up your hearts, lift up your voice, rejoice again. I say rejoice. So we every day focus our minds and hearts on the truth that we are subjects of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and that he reigns. And in a time even such as this, he reigns, he rules, and he will, in the end, triumph. That's our encouragement for this morning from Sibbes. I hope you have a great day.